Ezekiel Elliott was at a party in Dallas. It was kind of a pre-St. Patrick's Day. In fact, when I first saw the video on TMZ, I thought it was Mardi Gras. It was beads and women and a lot of drinking. And Ezekiel Elliott did something dumb. He pulled up a girl's shirt. Now,
or down.
Yeah. Now, I don't care that it was a party atmosphere. I don't care. According to one story, they were going out and hung out together later. A woman can expose her breast 15 times an hour. And if she wants to do that, she can, and that's fine. That happens down in Mardi Gras all the time. But it's her body, and she should be the one making that decision, not you. And the second time he tried to do it, she slapped his wrist, saying no. He is also awaiting a decision on a domestic violence case. So he should have much better self-awareness than he does. So my first takeaway is what he did is totally inappropriate. And if I was the Cowboys, I would fine him. And if I was the league, I would fine him. I don't care what the environment was. I don't care if you hung out later. That's not your body. You're in a public space. And be one thing if you were married and it was private and this was a public space and it's not your place. It should also be noted that before the season, I'm reading a story here by Michael David Smith that the Cowboys were concerned before this past season how Ezekiel Elliott handles himself off the field. So this is another example, drip, 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 the faucet dripping of poor behavior by Ezekiel Elliott. Let me segue into another opinion, and that is not in any way, and I'll ask Kristine's opinion in 1 second, this is not in any way me excusing it. What he did is wrong and he should be suspended, and you don't do that to anybody else's body. It's their decision. But 20 years ago, the Dallas Cowboys were doing things, according to Jeff Pearlman's book, Boys Will Be Boys, that were far worse. And the reason a lot of this was allowed is because the culture created by the Dallas Cowboys and their owner, a man I like, especially as a guest, Jerry Jones. From the party bus with Jerry and his son during training camp, to the White House in the 90s where cocaine use before and after practice was a habit. If your boss parties, it sends a message. And it's become very clear to me that the Bengals and the Cowboys have established themselves as the NFL franchises willing to acquire players with baggage. But in the Cowboys situation, it can often be worse that Charlotte Jones, the daughter of Jerry and a very astute, shrewd business person, will not even allow Jerry and Steven on Twitter. She says she doesn't trust them. Yes, Ezekiel Elliott made a really poor decision. He should be suspended or fined or both. But the Cowboys have created a culture, and don't tell me I'm anti-Cowboy. I'm not. They're interesting. We broadcast their games on Fox. They're really good for my business. I love Jerry Jones. I don't know Steven. I've met Charlotte at a party, a business party. I thought I was blown away by how smart she was. But the Cowboys send a message, and that message under Jerry Jones has been play hard and party hard. And when you bring young players into an organization, and Dallas is now making a habit of bringing players into the organization with real baggage, you're not exactly top-down sending a message to button it up and be responsible. Again, in no way am I letting Ezekiel Elliott off the hook. But the messaging at this company from the top down is, bad guy, sign him up. Domestic violence, sign him up. Heavy drug use, sign him up. Play hard, party hard. We'll look the other way. That permeates that culture. Just saying. Your thought on it, Kristine?
Well, first of all, it's more than party hard. This is more than just partying. And my take on Elliott, too, is we know that he has a domestic violence case going on. We saw him on camera pull someone's shirt down. So it makes me wonder, what do we not know that he's doing? These are only things that he's been caught doing. My guess is that he's done more that we wouldn't like. And what you're saying about the Cowboys, it kind of comes down to a question you get asked about athletes all the time and teams. Like, oh, are they a great person? Are they a good guy? And it's like, if any of those people did things, if they were your friend and they were doing things, you'd be outraged. So you look at the Cowboys and someone like Jerry Jones. I could never be friends in my normal life with someone who supports people who have domestic violence issues and who do things like this, but we do because he's an owner of a really popular franchise. So you kind of have to have two standards, which is really hard to kind of come to terms with.
It's hard to reconcile. The standards in sports are so low that we give passes to people who we would be disgusted with or humiliated by if they were our friends.
Exactly. And we celebrate them. But I would never be friends with them in my own life. And I don't think many people would.
I think it's good.
But why are we giving them a pass?
Because they play football.
Right.